Welcome back to Yahtzee Tries, and it being a Steam Next Fest kind of time of year, let's try a little demo of something, namely Twisted Tower. Oh, blimey, that's a surprisingly high jump for...
Oh, yeah, this dude jumps like freaking Lara Croft in 1996.
Yeah.
Absolute bunnies on this man.
Boing, boing. I'm so excited to be going to the Twisted Tower! Whee! Twisted Tower is a first-person shooter about some gormless British twat who comes to an isolated carnival and gets caught up in a hideous game of death with a visual and gameplay style that owes an awful lot to Bioshock, but from which I came away feeling like it had more in common with Five Nights at Freddy's Security Breach. Well, it's not as bad as that, but like Security Breach, it's definitely a game that lent way harder into presentation than it did into designing a fun game. Ugh. Did he have confetti inside his head? It's the warden from Super Jail. I wondered what he'd been up to. Hey. Oh, I knew that was going to happen. The main problem, I think, is one of pacing. You go through multiple rooms of build-up and taunting security monitors, kill one dude, then go through a few more rooms, kill one more dude, then unlock the second weapon. It's a case of too much build-up and not enough payoff. When the combat finally kicks in and you finally get locked in a room for a proper scrap, it's just wait for a dude to spawn, kill them, wait for the next dude to spawn. Ow, 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 that looks very painful. I can barely fucking read this.
Yeah, I didn't open this menu. Wow, that's...
Biff. Oh, that man made a gross sound effect.
Oh, see, I missed this gun. I got the Tommy gun first.
How the hell did you miss this gun? It was lying on the floor.
I also didn't see that guy.
It was lying on the floor in a corridor that was the only way to go.
Oh, well, I walked right over it, apparently.
And it has neither the over-the-top wackiness nor the grotesque, phantasmic American McGee's Alice vibes evoked by the visuals. All the spiral patterns and confetti bursts in the world can't hide the fundamental dullness of the combat. You know what the problem is? It's trying to have a foot in two worlds. It wants to have a Bioshock-style atmosphere, but without putting the work into creating Bioshock's extremely strong narrative context, establishing why we're getting brutalized by dudes in bunny masks.
You know, they may be workers, but it looks like their job is to kill you, so I think that's fair. Have no shame, Yahtzee. Well, not about that. You should probably have shame about something.
I'm ashamed that I've had to do this sequence 3 fucking times.
I want to see if it takes you longer to figure it out than it took me.
You bastard. What does that remind me of? Ah, never mind. It also wants to be a gameplay-focused knockabout killfest like, say, Painkiller, but it's unwilling to take the brakes off and let things go really hog-wild. I think the defining moment was when I was running around an arena with disco lights flashing and sexy music playing, but I couldn't fucking find the dude I needed to kill to end the encounter. It was rather pathetic, like watching a drunken best man dancing by himself on a wedding dance floor, yelling at everyone to come join him, but no one else has had anywhere near enough to drink yet. Our next game was FlyKnight, another first-person game, but a much more restrained one in both the visuals and the pace. That is literally the Dark Souls Knight armor.
Yes, very much so. And Estefan Costa, with $5, says, throw this in, the adventure is nigh as awesome tip jar. Yes, it is, and thank you.
Thank you very much. I hope we're all watching Season 4 as it goes out on alternate Saturdays, only at Second Wind. As the title suggests, you're a knight who is also a fly. It is a Souls-like, although more accurately it's part of an ongoing wave of indie games trying to ape From Software's old King's Field first-person dungeon crawlers, on the principle that if you're going to learn from the masters, might as well go right back to square one, I guess. Ow, you bastard.
Paul.
Okay, charging my attack doesn't actually increase the damage, turns out.
It does not.
Ooh. But it increases my anticipation. Was I actually drinking it, or was that me vomiting in it to drink it later, as a fly would? Bad.
And also...
Naughty. 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 Hey, why are you alive? Naughty. Naughty. As with many of its peers in this subgenre, FlyKnight attempts to evoke PS1-era graphics with the chunky, unadorned 3D models and the deliberately low frame rate of the animations that I frankly found a little bit sickening to watch, because it doesn't match the frame rate of the rest of the game. It's like trying to stand on two travelators that are moving at different speeds. Oh, what do you know, resting at bonfires refills your healing flask and respawns the enemies. Who could have guessed? Oh, have you got a fishing minigame? I ain't got time for that. I gotta... defeat monsters. A fly fishing, you say?
Oh, that's really funny. I didn't even think about that. That's a good pun.
Now, how are you supposed to pronounce that? What a terrible bloodbath. The gameplay of FlyKnight is what I would most charitably call methodical. You move sluggishly, or should I say flyishly, even before you've loaded yourself down with shields and melee weapons, and combat involves a lot of waiting for opportunities. Not that there's anything wrong with that. I did rather enjoy exploiting opportunities to kick your opponent right into the waiting gob of a Venus flytrap, but I get a sense this was one of those games that suffer from having to be cut off at the end of the first hour. People pay money for the, isolation tank experience.
Yeah, but they don't die in it, and that's the difference between a Venus flytrap.
Well, if I was an
And
insect, I
isolation
probably
tank.
wouldn't care if I was getting killed, because what else have I got going for me? I mean, a fly drowning in sugary liquid, that would be like you or I dying of exhaustion from sex.
Yeah, but they don't drown. They are slowly dissolved.
I don't think the game really went anywhere in the time I was streaming it. I was just a little lost fly in full plate armor, buzzing around some caves getting into fights with asshole wasps. I don't know if there was some incredibly spectacular boss fight coming up that would have paid off all that slow build-up. It would kind of make sense for the pace things were going at. I've seen a lot of suspicious dangly things in my time, but that is a very suspicious dangly thing.
Maybe the most suspicious dangly thing.
Go on, have another suck. Yeah. Ha ha.
Oh, yeah!
Someone never played Half-Life 1.
It's going to eat his head.
No,
Or
he's just
suck him into
he's just going to disappear into the ceiling, I think. Freddy Krueger voice. Why won't you die?
Oh,
Oh, there
there
we
we
go.
go.
A cheese win is still a win. On the whole, it functions. I like the targeted damage. Maybe it's worth a longer look. Man, this, Hollow Knight, Frog Monster, Crab's Treasure, why does Souls-like connect so readily to play as a tiny useless creature? Or did I just answer my own question? Our next game was Wordatro. It's Balatro, but with words. I think you just stick it on the end of a word to get extra points.
Okay. Why not just give us 10 points?
Grapnel! I'm writing a musical about climbing walls, and this is what I'm going to call it. It's not a real
As much as I
word.
do enjoy word games, I wouldn't consider myself particularly good at them. Just, relative to our coworkers, probably.
Yes. Now, I'm a big fan of the Balatro format, and I'm also a big fan of word games like Scrabble, because I have spent the last 40 years assembling a quite unnecessarily large and prodigious vocabulary, and I so rarely get a chance to properly show it off. So of all the many knockoffs of Balatro that indie gaming has been collectively churning out, this is the one I assume was created specifically for me. Split. Beaver. Hey, classic Simpsons reference. I am Beaklaw, the most evil bird to walk the land. Vocaloid.
Yeah. Yes.
Vocaled.
Fuck.
Naturally, I immediately beat all the meager 7 levels available in the demo and was left hungry for more. Mechanically, it's about what you'd expect, really. You get dealt a hand of letters instead of cards, and through cunning discards and arrangements, create words instead of poker hands, accruing points and multipliers that are augmented by bonuses applied to individual tiles, and by rules established by whatever the Scrabble equivalent of a joker is. Scroker, perhaps. Oh, come on.
Oh, no.
QZ.
Lore.
Ah ha 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 ha. Bollocks, we only had one E. Boned.
Bound.
Oh, blimey. But if the aim is to create a Balatro-like experience, there's certainly a lot of room for improvement in an eventual full version. There needs to be a better range of ways we can customize our build, for example. Some deck building mechanics, so we can remove or add to the letters in our bag would be nice, so I don't keep drawing J's. And at present, you just pick one of 3 Scrokers after every round of gameplay. You can't sell them or get them to interact in crazy game-breaking ways.
You are quite good at this, aren't you?
Like I said, I do the spelling bee every bloody day. I've been practicing. One day I'm going to go on Countdown, and I'm going to destroy the world. Just off the top of my head, we've got quartz.
Quartz.
Or quartz.
Yep, that was.
Quartz is.
Oh, there we go. That's beautiful.
Lovely. Hi, if you're watching, Jess's mum. I've got a couple of quality of life requests as well, speaking as a word game fan. A button that returns all the tiles we've laid out back to our hand in one go would be nice, so I don't have to individually click on them all if I change my mind or want to experiment with something else. And in anagram games, I appreciate a button that shuffles all the letters in your hand into a new random order. I've always appreciated that as a way to conveniently blow the dust off the old brain meat. Mind you, the game might very well have such a button. It's hard to tell with all the random garbage and bits of information smeared across the screen at any given moment. That could certainly do with a bit of a pruning. The right. Oh well. Would have been nice. Why are asteroids so tasty? Because they're a little meteor. We have won the demo. We are the best at words. Besides that, yeah, just make a full version of this game with a couple of infinite gameplay modes and I'll probably play it every day for the rest of my fucking life. Slot it into the daily routine, right after doing the New York Times crossword and just before the evening tipsy wank. And finally, keeping with the word theme, I had to go on Blood Typers, a third-person horror game apparently trying to expand upon the old Typing of the Dead formula, where we desperately fend off encroaching zombies by correctly typing the words hanging over them, going into fits of panic with every typo. This is that, but taken even further, into a full-on exploration-based survival horror game where you type little groups of letters to do everything else as well, from moving around, picking up items from shelves, and making sandwiches. I would appreciate it if you just type this and the game just says, "Ha ha, asshole," and then you die.
Yes, that's all I wanted.
Yes, just acknowledge my cleverness.
Anyway, we ended
up
at
this derelict studio. Off. I think these have stopped being coherent sentences now. And yeah, this didn't really click for me. That could be partly because of the visual presentation. It's not a pretty game, all murky GUIs and hard to read text. The format is functional enough. Explore a maze-like dungeon finding 5 tapes to bring to the one room with the VCR. Every now and again the threat meter gets filled and you have to hunker down and deal with a monster assault. Managing resources as you go. Fine.
A receptionist working actively in this derelict building here.
Yeah, I feel this receptionist should probably have some words with the cleaning service.
Grab meat, quick eat.
Yeah. Yeah, I've grabbed my meat.
There we go.
Oh shit. There's a dude.
What is with people in survival horror games just leaving stream of consciousness type notes all over the place?
But the whole time the game is tripping over this whole typing gimmick that it's committed itself to, it's important to remember that Typing of the Dead, fun though it was a joke game. It worked as a rail shooter. Trying to incorporate into movement mechanics is taking the joke way too seriously. It reminds me of that Rise of Nightmares game on the Xbox 360 that was trying to do a full-on horror game controlled entirely with Kinect movements, which I couldn't stand, because the obligation to completely relearn how to do basic things, like move around, just leaves me exhausted and flustered every time things get hairy. Oh, Jesus. Oh, Jesus.
Oh
Typos.
My god, that typo nearly killed you.
Typos can be lethal in this game.
If you eat that meat, will you become more or less decent?
Depends what kind of meat we're talking about.
Nothing like some good shelf meat
Best kind.
for a little pick-me-up.
Always room for more meat. Well, my health's gone back down to decent.
Good thing you've got so much meat. Can't keep you down for long with a meat supply like that.
Oh, I'm injured now. All that floor meat going back to haunt me. It also completely undermines the horror atmosphere because the omnipresent conceit of the control gimmick makes it impossible to get immersed. The game does seem to lean into a co-op focus, and maybe it'd be more fun with friends competing to show off who's got the fastest typing speed, so long as you have friends that pathetic. But as I frequently said, more fun with friends doesn't count for much. Fucking Chinese water torture's more fun with friends. You can make little jokes to each other like, "Hey, this reminds me of the shower in my first apartment." Ah, ha, ha, ha.
Cancelled? Second Wind has been
Oh
cancelled.
no! Well, I know you were taking the piss, but I've been plagued with back pain lately, so I will take your money.
While I'm looking at chat, James Morgan with $1.99 says, Yahtzee, you're fully ramblematic, made me cry.
Good. I'm glad I drink your tears.
So yeah, everybody go to sharkrobot.com, Second Wind, and buy discount merch. I'll say the latest Adventure is Nigh fanfic is called The Sex Thing. What a title. I love it.
So who is it shipping?
It is Grinderbin and Mortimer.
Oh, how boring. How expected.
And you know what? I like having doggone spring legs.
I have never played the original Halo. I think I started playing Halos at 3, and I never
Wow,
understood
you were
what the
very young. Bye, love you too, have fun.
Bye, Jesse's friend.
Yahtzee says bye. This is my partner.